Welcome back, folks. My name is Rebecca Ricks, and I'm here with the Homeschool Connection, and we're going to do our 5-minute teaching tip about, well, we're talking about nonfiction books today. So let me go ahead and set my timer for 5 minutes, and then we will get started. So here we are. Again, we're talking about nonfiction books for middle schoolers. So let me preface. I am a fiction fan. I love fiction books. I love books in general. I mean, you see my bookshelf behind me. You should see my dining room. It's pretty much a library. I have an old library bookshelf, and I have, 4 or 5 bookshelves in there. So I am a bookaholic. I love to read. But for specifically, a lot of times we can get sucked into that fiction mode. And so I kind of feel like I am a non-fiction on purpose kind of person. Like, I wouldn't necessarily lean toward nonfiction, but once in a while I'll read a really, really awesome, great one. So I kind of feel like there are 3 different types of nonfiction. There's something that's out about a subject in science or nature or something like that. And then one of my most, I feel like, is so important for students to read. And if you don't have them, go ahead and find some really important biographies. So these are younger ones, and I have a couple of them here. On Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. These are really, really important for kids to read. And I brought a couple other ones too. Go to the library and find as many good biographies as you can. We have the Wright brothers, Samuel Morris, Noah Webster. Some people you might not always hear. Now, this is a series of books that I really, really do recommend, and it's all it's called Heroes of the Faith, and this is David Livingstone, and this is always my favorite, if we're talking one, is Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington. Okay, so that's an autobiography, and his story is amazing, completely middle school appropriate. Language might be a little bit hard, some of it, but I'm just saying, like, change your life, amazing. This autobiography, so it's this actual story that I love. And along with that, and I looked everywhere for it, so don't judge me. I have a lot of books. I couldn't find the book, but I know I have it. I probably have 2 or 3 copies. Is The Diary of Anne Frank. Is extremely middle school appropriate. Great. She's actually a middle schooler. Highly recommend that book as a nonfiction to read, and it's something that you can also read and discuss. Kind of like this one. These are my top 2, I would say, biographies, autobiographies to read. Now, I have a couple other books that are just nonfiction books that I really do like. This is called The Flame Keepers. It's about World War II, and I really, really like historical books that have historical preface, but American soldiers that survived Stalag 17, what it was really like in Stalag 17, and that story is really, really great and important to read. And so I'm going to show you my absolute number 1 pick here in 2 seconds, but let me just say, nonfiction is the best way to get your kids engaged in what they like to learn. If they're into science, then read some biographies on these great scientists. What a better way to learn than really delve into their stories and what their lives were like and how they really came up and discovered these things. I feel like that back end might be something that is super duper duper important. So let me tell you my number 1 favorite, and I have to say thank you to Brittany Yates for introducing this to me. It's Catching Lincoln's Killer. So we've used this in history for several years, and it is one thing that middle schoolers really, really, really love. Like, every class that reads this book, it's something they really like. And it's pretty factual, and also if you look through it, there's lots of pictures put in, actual pictures of the people, some of the people and the playbills. It's just pretty much a factual account of chasing down John Wilkes Booth, and there is an adult version, is called Manhunt, but Chasing Lincoln's Killer was actually, he edited it down specifically for that middle school age, that high school age. So I would say that kind of book, and he's written a couple other ones too. So those kind of books, if you're pushing for it, biographies are the best. And then a couple of these that I really, really like, trying to bring in that information that you might not always see. And usually this last one is definitely one of my top picks for us when we are doing our classes for history. I always like to make our history classes, read those. And when we're mentioning classes, don't forget, you can go ahead and sign up anytime now. We're enrolling right now, and we'd love to have you part of our school. And also, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and here on Facebook. So we'd love to have you come, like, and share. Oh, and we're running a competition right now that if you like all 3 of them, we're giving out a gift card. So don't forget, you're not alone in your homeschool journeys. We are here to help you.